Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan and this video is going to be a lipstick dupes video. It's going to be all about Charlotte Tilbury lipstick dupes, and I'm not sure if anyone is interested in these lipsticks or if anyone's even going to watch it, but I'd promised this a while ago and I did get quite a few comments about like, what about that dupes video, is it even coming through? So here I am, and I have a lot of dupes for some of the shades, so I've tried to include as many similar shades as I can, and also some high-end alternatives to the Charlotte Tilbury ones, just in case you already own that or you just wanted something in a high-end formulation as well. So yeah, the time right now is 7. Let's see how long this dupes video is going to take me, because I have a lot of lipsticks lined up right here. Let me insert a clip of how it's laid out. Now this video can be skipped if you don't really like long videos, because this is going to take me a while again, and if you don't really want a lot of alternatives, if you just don't like dupes video, you can skip this out. There are people who don't believe in dupes and believe that the high-end product is priced at a certain price point because of the quality of the ingredients and the way it's going to perform and all of that. But to be honest, Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks just don't justify the price point, in my opinion. There are a lot of other brands that you can try out, a lot of affordable brands, a lot of high-end brands too. For me, I personally still use a lot of these affordable alternatives over the Charlotte Tilbury one, but if you are someone who really likes high-end lipsticks and you swear by it, you can stick to that. But this is for anyone who wants to save money, who doesn't really like to spend a lot on lipsticks in general, okay? And you just wanted a similar shade, or just wanted to see what the hype is about, but you wanted to see if the affordable alternative first of all suits your skin tone. There are many reasons a lot of people like dupes videos. Again, you can avoid buying similar shades, so that is the point of this video. Let's get started. Now the first one from Charlotte Tilbury that I have is called Wedding Bells, and a closer match to that is from Love Child, which is in the shade Mita, which is a little bit more lilac than Wedding Bells, but this is the closest I could get. I'm not going to call this a 100% match. The next shade that I have, which is again a little bit deeper than Wedding Bells, is from Lakme. This is in the shade Roasted Almond, and like I mentioned, I don't really have a lot of shades that wash me out because I don't really prefer or lean towards wearing these shades. So yeah, this is how it looks like side by side. Next up, swatching my least favorite shade from this brand, which is called Pillow Talk, which is a very popular shade, which is a little bit more pale than the previous shade. The first one we have is called Naked Blush from Flower Beauty. Next up we have Very Victoria, which is also a similar color family as Pillow Talk, but not as pale or lilac looking as that. This has a little bit more brown, and the shade Dupe Insight Moody, which turns out to be a little bit more pigmented and a little bit more brown. Next up we have a very popular shade, which is Pillow Talk Medium, and a lot of people really like it, but for me, I find it personally to be a very cool toned shade. So the first shade that I have is from Love Child by Masaba, which is called Caramel, which is almost an identical match to Pillow Talk Medium. Next up, swatching e.l.f. O-Face Satin Lipstick in the shade Drive, which is a more brown version of Pillow Talk Medium in my opinion. And then we have the Older Nude Nuance by Maybelline, which is a very good match to Pillow Talk Medium. If you guys didn't know and are not aware, the brand has changed up the shade Nude Nuance to make it a little bit more brown and not as cool toned as Nude Nuance was. An identical match again for Pillow Talk Medium is from Stace. This one is their 929 lipstick in the shade Shot of Baileys. And then we have Irish Coffee from Nykaa, which is again a very similar shade to Pillow Talk Medium. So next up we have MIK's, which is a little bit more deeper than Pillow Talk Medium, I feel like, and maybe doesn't have as much cool tone to it as Pillow Talk Medium. An alternative to that we have is from Blue Heaven. This is in the shade Coffee Break, which is a little bit more pink, but I like this shade actually. An identical alternative is Calabar Foreplay, and this is a little bit of a pricey alternative, but you can always pick it up on discount. Another shade that is similar to this but with a little bit more red is from Inside. This is in the shade Mikasa. This is how they look like side by side. Another shade, again not as cool toned as MIK's, is Taupe Thrill from Nykaa. Another shade similar to MIK's is from Stace. This is in the shade Brown Spice. This brand has a lot of dupes for a lot of high-end lipsticks. I've done a dedicated video on that. You can check it out. Next up I have a shade called Catwalking, which is as pale as Pillow Talk, but just not as Lilac. And a shade that I have that is quite similar to that but a little bit more pigmented is from Maybelline. This is in the shade Clay Crush. And another shade that is similar from a high-end brand is Velvet Teddy from MAC. This is from their original formulation. I'm not sure if the newer shade is similar to this. Now I know I'll get some comments, even though I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, that this is not a dupe. Like, you know, this is just a shade alternative as well. Like, I know a lot of people expect dupes to be very affordable, but I'm just also showing you a comparison of similar shades so that you don't end up buying same thing. Next up, we have a shade called Super Fabulous, and a dupe for that we have is from Mamaearth, which is called Mocha Brown. When I swatched this till late for that shorts video, I get a lot of hate for like doing this, you know, swatch video and like partnering with the brand for this product. I find it to be comfortable on my lips. First of all, it's comfortable matte and it has a wear time just like any other bullet lipstick. In fact, better than the Charlotte Tilbury one. So many dupes for Charlotte Tilbury is from Mamaearth, and especially this range I will show you as in when we're talking about the other shades as well. So I don't understand the hate I receive, okay? Sometimes out of like 1,000 lipsticks I own, just these shades worked out to be similar for Charlotte Tilbury. Super fabulous. So next up I have Melting Mocha from Love Child by Masaba. This is a little bit more deeper than Super Fabulous. Next up, swatching Supermodel, which is like a pale pink shade. A similar match for that is from Nykaa. This is in the shade Wake Up Makeup. And another shade also from Nykaa is in Vintage, which is very similar to Supermodel. Now some reds just to change it up a little bit. This is a beautiful red, pigmented, has little like depth to it, which is called Cinemtaic Red. So one shade that I found that was similar to that is from Faces, which is called Crushed Berry. The formulation of these Faces Primer Plus Matte Lip Crayons are out of the world. They're very long lasting, so good alternative for Cinemtaic Red from Charlotte Tilbury. Next alternative is from Mars. This is in the shade No Filter. This is their non-transfer lip crayon, which is very long lasting, very matte. Next shade we have is something that I almost didn't pick up because I was like, what a generic red shade, okay? But this is like none other red that I own. I mean, it's not like your straight up red shade with like pink undertones, not like Ruby Woo where it's a little bit of a brighter red. This has that depth, okay? It's a deeper red shade with pink undertones, and I don't really have a lot of lipsticks again in my collection that I could find that was similar to this, but fortunately Maybelline has my back. This one is the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Midnight Date, and I was like, oh my god, is this discontinued? But I checked, it's available, you guys, and it's for like 263 rupees on discount. So this is how they look like side by side. I'm so happy with this match. You can see, hence I like decided to make like an entire talking session about this because that's how happy I am with this match. I compared so many reds to this and I thought, okay, like either it was pulling too orange, too pink, too neon, or it was a lighter version of a red shade. Yet again, Mamaearth to the rescue. This is the Mamaearth Soft Matte Long Stay Lipstick in the shade Grape Wine. Next up we have a shade called Love Liberty. The only shade in this which I have which is similar to that but in a different formulation, which is a little bit more matte, so it looks like a different shade, is from us, which is called Grapeful Goomer. Next up I have a shade called Mark of a Kiss. First shade, which doesn't have as much red as the Charlotte Tilbury one, is from Maybelline, which is called More Rust. Next, very similar shade is from Mars. This one is part of their Reds collection and it is called Fashion Statement 02. And then we have another shade from Lakme 925 Primer Plus Matte Lipstick in the shade Roseate Red, which is very similar to this. Next up we have a very neon pink shade which is called Lost Cherry, and it's a little bit patchy. A shade similar to that we have is from Mamaearth. This one is their slimmer lip crayon. This one is called their Hydra Matte crayon, and this is in the shade 01 Lychee Pink. Another high-end alternative is from MAC, which is called Stay Curious. I mean, a more wearable shade, though they are similar. It's not like as neon or not as patchy looking on my lips. Next up I have a very popular shade which is called Walk of No Shame. The first dupe I have is from Plum, which is called Plush R, which is almost like an exact match and a more matte formulation. Next up I have Masaba by Nykaa Nimbu Pani. I think Love Child by Masaba has also relaunched this shade. I'm not very sure, but if you have this Nimbu Pani shade, you know you have Walk of No Shame. And I have a little bit of a more brown version from Kiro, which is called Ginger Tea, which is one of my favorite bullet lipsticks of all time. It's very comfortable, very long lasting. And then I have Revlon Rum Raisin, which is a pretty close match. A tad bit deeper, we have Blue Heaven Chocolate Swirl. Stace Creme de la Matte lip color in the shade Strawberry Daiquiri is almost an identical match again. A high-end deeper alternative would be from Pat McGrath, which is called Flesh 5. MAC Powder Kiss lipstick in Breakthrough is also a high-end alternative, and if you already own it, you don't really have to buy Walk of No Shame. Next up, swatching the shade First Dance, which is a very wearable muted pink shade. And a dupe I have for that is from Mamaearth. This is in the shade Petal Pink. Another shade that is similar to First Dance is from Nykaa. This is in the shade Staycation, and they are almost pretty much the same shades. Next up, we have a shade called Amazing Amal, which is a little bit more warm than the previous shade, and a shade that is similar to that is from Kiro, which is called Tulip Bloom. The next shade, which again would not be a 100% match but is similar, is from Faces. This is in the shade Magnetic. Next up, we have the shade called Mrs. Kisses, and we have Mamaearth Woody Rose, which is a little bit deeper but similar shades. And then I have a lipstick from Stace, which is called Mocha Muse, which is pretty much the exact same shade as Mrs. Kisses, and it is a pretty good formulation as well. It's comfortable matte finish. Then we have the Mamaearth lip crayon in the shade Peach Nude, which is also a very similar shade and a beautiful formulation, comfortable matte finish. The Faces matte lip crayon in the shade Cashmere is very similar to Wedding Bells, just a little bit more brown and not as pale pink as Wedding Bells is. Next up, I have 90s Pink, which is a very pale lilac looking shade on my lips, and I don't really have a lot of shades that are similar to this. First one I have is a lip gloss from Mars, which is called Pink Guava. The pigmentation of the Charlotte lipstick almost matches a lip balm, you guys. Now this shade is not best suited for anyone deeper than light skin tones. I feel like it's a very pale pink shade. Of course, if you are of a much lighter skin tone than I am, it would work out really well. Another one that I have, similar shade but different formulation and slightly different undertone, is from K-Beauty. This is in the shade Snapshot. Lastly, I have the Mars lipstick in the shade Instant Flush 04. I think it's part of the purples and pinks collection, or peaches and nude, I'm not very sure. Next up, swatching the lipstick in the shade Rose to Fame. Again, very similar to that 90s pink shade. It's not like very different, both these shades. You could ideally use those dupes itself for this as well, but I also have some things for this. This is from Plum. This is in the shade Give Me Mauve. Such pale shades, you guys, such pale shades. Another one is from the Mars non-transfer lip crayon range. It's called Smile Please. Lastly, I have one of my absolute favorite lipstick, which is called So 90s, which was a little bit hard to dupe. So the first one I have is from Swiss Beauty. This is in the shade Dark Brown. The next one we have, I think this will match better, is from Shambo. This one is in the shade Binod Tisha. I feel like this Shambo range of lipsticks, they just have really good shades, but I didn't pick up a lot of different shades. I'm not even sure if it's available anymore. Another alternative is of course from Nykaa, which is called Deja Nude. This is, I feel like, a much better match and much affordable price point, and a lot of people already own this shade as well, so you don't really have to go out and buy it again. And a high-end alternative is MAC Paramount. I feel like MAC Paramount lacks that red, you know, that deep red that So 90s has, but they are very similar shades. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. By the time I completed this video, it's 9:30, so that's 2.5 hours just sitting in one place, straight up swatching so many lipsticks, and my lips are actually like swollen on this side. So yeah, good luck with dealing with the repercussions of this later. Anyways, let me know if you want to watch more such videos, any other brand that you want me to dupe, like one brand lipstick dupes or anything. Let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know what other videos in general that you are looking at watching in the comments down below. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.